Hi there, Scott. ROCKFILE back with another podcast review for you. Going to be talking about the 2022 film, Violent Night. Really wanted to see this one in theaters. Didn't get a chance. It was only here for like a week or two. We only have a few screens, so things move pretty quickly here if you don't catch it. And to be perfectly honest, I heard good reviews, but it's one of those movies that could have gone either way based on the trailer, but I had high hopes. I like David Harbour and everybody else in the movie. Finally got to watch it this weekend, and I loved it. Short version is, no spoilers or anything, if you're looking for Die Hard with Santa Claus, very violent, very rated R, but also with a lot of heart. This is a decent Christmas movie and a great what you think it is. And go watch it right now and come back for the rest of the review. To get into it longer, and I'll stay away from most spoilers, this was much better than it should have been. David Harbour's great. David Harbour, John Leguizamo, they're both playing characters that they could have just phoned in, and they didn't. John Leguizamo tends to play a bad guy in some of these kind of movies, but he's playing a bit of a different bad guy in this one, kind of. A little more ruthless, a little older, a little less BS, I guess. That David Leitch produced this movie. He's been behind things like Deadpool, John Wick, and Suicide Blonde. Should come as no doubt that the action scenes are great. What really surprised me, though, was the heart about the movie. You really don't like much of the cast of the hostages. That's by design, I'm sure. Beverly D'Angelo, when she comes in, you immediately know the movie's R-rated based on her language. And some of the violence is pretty. Well, there's some things that happen right at the intro that, you'll know whether you will like this movie from the opening or not. For me, though, like I said, a lot of people who may not normally watch movies that are this violent or this over the top, I still think you'll find a lot to like in it because of the Christmas slant. It's a good Christmas movie. It weaves some Santa backstory in it. It weaves into it lots of Christmas music and Christmas things. It's not just, Die Hard with a Santa Claus. They really tried to make a decent Christmas movie with some actual moral fortitude in there. I don't know. When it was over, we just couldn't believe how good it was. It leaves you with, I want to see more. I'd like to see a sequel, and I would definitely like to see a prequel. I don't know if either are planned, but I'm all in regardless. I don't want to sell it too big because it is a B-movie idea that really barely gets above B-movie, but you've got decent actors giving it all in this and some actual interesting surprises, and I don't know. I'd watch it again. I'm going to buy a copy. It's going to go into my regular Christmas watching. It might make a great twofer with Die Hard, as a matter of fact. And I don't want to sell it too much like it feels just like Die Hard. This is a different thing, but it's kind of, again, one guy against the bad guys. They have automatic weapons. He's got Christmas magic. It's as funny as it sounds. Everybody does a great job in the film. I especially like the little girl. I forgot her name, Alexis Louder, maybe. She was really good in the film because the kid roles in Santa Claus movies, they can be too bratish or not enough bratish, to be real. And I think she found the happy medium there. Like I said, David Harbour begins the movie as kind of a burnout Santa Claus and kind of finds a reason to be Santa Claus again, I guess. You got John Leguizamo playing a pretty tough bad guy. You've got a cast of other characters that don't really matter because they're fodder for what's to come. But overall, I really think you're going to have a blast with this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's well made. It's well directed. It's Santa Claus is doing his normal thing. He's kind of going through the rote emotions of it all, and this team of people are breaking into this rich person's compound because they want the $300 million in the vault. Santa Claus just happens to be there when all hell breaks loose, and he gets involved. That's your plot. That's all you need to know. Like I said, that they go into a little bit of backstory on Santa Claus. They go into more backstory on him than anybody else in the movie, which they went into more backstory on him than they did on Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Really entertaining flick. But again, temper your expectations. This is not going to be an Academy Award-winning film. This is a very violent, very gross film. Well, because I won't give anything away. It's just a little gross in places, and it's very violent. But you should know from the director, Tommy Wirkola, he made that Hansel and Gretel movie with Jeremy Renner a few years ago, which I liked and most people hated. But this seems to have more lasting appeal. I think this is one you could show to most people in the family. Maybe not grandma. It's probably a little violent for grandma, but everybody else is going to get a kick out of it because it is a good Christmas movie that's also very violent, a little profane, and action-packed. Once the action gets going, by the way, it's pretty much nonstop from that point on. But I like the surprises. I like the heart. I like some of the characterizations. A movie, again, that surprises me when it could have just been a rote exercise in B-movie, theatrics, violence, gore, some Christmas nods, and been done with it. They actually tried really hard, and I think they've created something that we could get a mythology out of. I would like to see more. The movie was made for $20 million. It grossed $75 million at the box office, and I know it's doing pretty well on streaming. For some reason, Universal put it out on Blu-ray, but not 4K. For whatever reason, Universal's done that more than once recently, with Black Phone and a few others. They just came out. Lionsgate did it with The Fall. There's just some movies that just came out on Blu-ray and no 4Ks, and don't know why, especially when some of them were filmed at 4K or finished in 4K. But, I was going to mention that the surround sound is really good in this flick, by the way, for a DVD copy. I believe it came with Dolby Atmos, and I was impressed with some of the magical sound effects, some of the spacious sound effects. Granted, there's a lot of gunfire and a few explosions and things like that that'll rattle, but it more in the interesting use of music and sound effects and that Christmas kind of thing. Again, if you like Christmas, I know it's January, late January. Why am I reviewing a Christmas movie? Because I didn't get a chance to see it around Christmas. But I finally rented it from Redbox, and I'm going to buy a copy of it. I actually like this movie that much. I'm going to add it to my collection. Your mileage may vary. So check out David Harbour and John Leguizamo in what's being billed as Die Hard with Santa, and that's not too far off the mark. It's a highly entertaining, very rated R, over-the-top kind of movie that you can have a lot of fun with. Make it a Friday night, make a drinking game out of it or something. Have fun. I think we need more movies like this that are fun, and this one definitely fits the bill and makes it into my regular rotation of holiday films. How weird. Didn't think I'd say that at the end of this. Scott Hamilton, I'm ROCKFILE. My links are below. Thanks for checking them out. More to come. Stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.